Welcome to Why They Play the Game, a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I'm just one of your hosts, Michael Eric Owens.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Ken Hayes. How you doing, man?
Ken, listen, man, it's been hot, to say the least, with the continuation of the hotness.
Oh my
And
goodness.
man, just crazy, brother. So listen, let's get right
Okay.
into it. So the news popped, and we're going to be looking at, folks. We're going to be looking at the Atlantic Conference for this show. But while we're at it, we want you to go ahead, hit that like, that subscribe button, and that notification. We got a lot of great feedback on the last show.
Yeah.
Marcus Johnson to the Hall of Fame, and we think that we made a great case for that. But folks, share that show because we want to build up this coalition, this swell of people that says Marcus needs to be in the Hall of Fame. But folks, we're going to talk about the Atlantic Conference, Ken. But briefly, we heard that Karl-Anthony Towns is this is the rumor, and it's been reported. I think even ESPN talked about it. So it hasn't been, officially
Just
done.
so. Right.
But the word is he's going to go to New York, and New York is going to send Dante DiVincenzo. They're also going to send a first-round draft pick, and then there's another player that I can't recall his name that they're sending along with Jewish Randle. So that's the big thing. Randle going, and then Karl-Anthony Towns coming back to New York. So Ken, as I pull up this Atlantic Conference, man, talk a little bit about what was your first thoughts when you heard that.
Mike, I tried to figure out, which team got better and which team, let's just say, got worse.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe both teams got better. I don't know. But as far as, Towns going to New York, it gives them a little bit more length and size where they didn't have last year. The other thing also, it does boast their lineup. So Towns, I won't say rumor, but the talk about him, he's soft. That's the talk on him. That he doesn't want to bang down low. He just want to shoot threes and let's just say get some rebounds here and there. I'm gonna say this, Mike. Last year in the playoffs, he kind of did a disappearing act on me as far as that's concerned. I'll get into this too. While Towns he a max player making $55 million a year. That's a lot of money. A lot.
$220 million for 4 years.
Woo.
So that's
a lot.
And that's what New York is going to pick up. I mean,
Right.
They're gonna pick up that salary, man, and they're paying some people, man. And sometimes, I mean, Ken, when we turn to this Atlantic Conference, we're looking at the Celtics, the world champs. We're looking at the Knicks, the 76ers, the Nets, and the Raptors. Okay. Now, let's just talk about, we know Julius Randle was out pretty much most of last year.
Right.
So Ken, but when you look at their games, I mean, Julius averaged more points per game, but not much. I think he averaged 24 point something, 9 point something rebounds. And Karl was 22 points, 10 point rebounds. So the
about the same.
About the same. So you're getting the same player. I think there's more advantages to Randall's game than there is to Karl's game. Karl is mainly a 3-point shooter. He calls himself the best 3-point shooting big man in the game.
Right.
He really doesn't have a post-up game. He can take you off the dribble. He can do that.
Right.
But that's not really his thing. But you look at Julius. Julius can shoot the three. Julius can post you up. He can hit you with the mid-range. He can run the floor just like Karl. And I think what's going to really hurt New York in this, man, you got listen, bro, you got what? Anunoby, you got when you look at that Knicks roster, you got Brunson, now you got they just brought over you know what I'm talking
And
about
yeah,
from his name
from
is
Brooklyn.
escaping me. Yeah, from Brooklyn. Exactly. And now you're gonna have Towns. So we're there's only one ball, bro.
But I'll say this on the side of New York. I don't think. Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't think New York Brunson was ball dominant. So I think they can share the ball, between the three of them. The thing the that worries me is that New York doesn't have any depth as far as their bench is concerned.
Mikal
Or
Bridges, man. I don't know
okay,
why I couldn't
right,
remember that
yeah,
brother's
Bridges.
name. Sorry about
So
that, Mikal. You
no,
cold, dog. Hey. You know,
so
it's just that age, Ken. But go ahead.
tell me about it. But I'm gonna look on the other side, Minnesota. Um, Randolph, Mike, I'm gonna say this: the knock on him is that he can't go right. You play.
I don't think you ever been a fan of Julius, though.
No, I'm not. I mean, he did the disappearing act. Not last year, but the year before, and the year before, as far as the playoffs were concerned. I'm like, man, come on. So, so I really can't say which team got the better of the trade. I mean, maybe it's, let's call it a draw, right? But I think that the Knicks I think the Knicks management is trying to show the fans that they're in the process of trying to put pieces together so they can really contend against, let's just say, come out of the Eastern Conference and maybe have a chance of winning the championship.
Yeah, I think it's all in. I think they are all in, man. And I think they're trying to get, the pieces. I just don't know personally how that puts them over the edge. And then Ken, to find out that from the reporting, Karl-Anthony Towns was not even aware. Ken, he said he didn't ask, he didn't request a trade. He wasn't aware that he was being even, I
Shop.
guess, and yeah, shopped around. And so to me, it goes, well, hold on, man. This guy has been an all-star with the last few years or so. And he is a critical piece to their success. I mean, it's not like he is, if we want to say he's number two and Ann is number one, we can't go farther down the depth chart than that. He is a legitimate number two at that organization.
Oh,
Where does he fit in, Ken, in your opinion? Where does he fit in New York?
hey, a number two, because Brunson is the number one
Mikal,
option.
where Mikal at?
Number three,
So where's Anunoby?
probably 4th, 5th.
Josh Hart.
Oh,
I
know what you're
mean,
saying.
you see what I'm saying? Like we going down that's the problem with Minnesota. He was a clear two. There was no question among Jade McDaniels and Alexander Walker, Nas Reed. He was clearly a two. Even Gobert is just, I don't say he's just a big man, but you know what I mean when I say
They
that.
don't look for him to score.
Exactly. So when you look at New York, I mean, Deuce McBride is gonna put up some. Josh Hart's gonna put up some. Oh yeah, you even got Achua. You have Achua there. So you have Achua, you had Amanobi, you have Brunson. Okay, you're gonna have Mikal Bridges, and then now you have Karl-Anthony Towns. And I'm just gonna say there's only one ball. And although I even thought, Ken, when they got Mikal, I said, ooh, because Jalen is highly ball dominant. He shares the ball now. Nobody's going to say he doesn't share the ball. He does share the ball, but he is highly ball dominant. What does that mean? That means now I'm sitting around. I'm not in the action as normal as I used to be. So there's an adjustment that's going to have to make with a number 2. They're bringing in a number 2. They're not bringing in, look at the Bucks. Okay, the Bucks this year. Okay. Philly's going to have the same problem because Ken is Paul George, is he a number 1 or number 2?
Number 3, as far as I'm concerned.
No, he's not. So you gonna put Maxey above Paul George?
Oh yeah.
No,
yeah.
no.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Maxey didn't get no max contract for nothing.
But I'm just saying I wouldn't put him above Paul George, man. Not if the game's on the line.
I'm going to Maxey.
No. Embiid's number 1.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying, I'm talking about between Maxey and Paul George.
But I'm saying Embiid's number 1. Paul George didn't come to Philly to be number 3. I can tell you that right now. He didn't come to Philly to be number 3. I can guarantee you that. And Maxey gonna recognize that Paul George didn't come there to be. He gonna have to defer. He gonna have to give up some of his shots because he did not come there to be number 3, bro. They didn't already told him. I can get. He wouldn't even came there if they had said to him, "Well, Embiid number 1 and Maxey's coming up, so you gonna be." Paul wouldn't have came. Why? Mike. Because he was already a number 2.
Yeah, but look where they got.
But he ain't bro. Nah. but what I'm gonna say is this: I feel like, if you look at New York, Brunson's the number 1.
Right.
Okay. Karl-Anthony Towns gonna have to be number 2. I don't know who else you gonna Mikal. I don't know how you. I'm just saying there's gonna be some working out of roles and responsibility in there, man, because I can imagine what Mikal's thinking. He's probably happy he's coming, but he's knowing his role has got to change.
Oh, definitely. Oh,
okay. Because they was about to have that 1-2 knockout punch. You know what I mean? Nah, you got to share that rock now, man. So I don't know. And Ken, think about this. It in some ways it might help New York because Julius plays so much in the middle, right? That 8 to 10 foot range. Where Carl's going to stay more out there on that 3-point line. Okay. However, let's toss this up though, Ken. He's probably going to have to play a lot of 5 because what is the guy that their center he's
injured.
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson. So he's going to be out. And then they let Hartenstein go. So he's going to have to play a lot of 5. What does that mean? Who is he matching up with? Embiid. Okay, folks like that, right? He's going to have to match up with Brook Lopez, right? He might have to match up with Giannis. So is that a better fit for him in New York versus Minnesota?
I think the better fit is probably Minnesota. I think it on the New York side, it helps Brunson out. He doesn't have to carry that team by himself. I mean, Mike, I'm just keeping it real with you. I think Hart and Anobi, I think they're just role players as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they're not superstars. They're just, good role players, what you need. So it takes a lot off of Brunson's shoulders where, you look at the Indiana series, he just got beat down, and I think he was taking about between 28 and 30 shots in the playoffs. I mean, you got to have some help, and which I think Cat will give him that help, but is that going to be enough? That's going to be the question.
I agree with you. I think he's going to definitely. But again, what if Julius was there? So, we're kind of talking in the absence of that position because you lost 24 points a game, you lost 9 rebounds a game, and who was going to pick that up? They thought Princess Chua was going to do that. They thought Anunoby was going to do that. I'm going to say about Josh Hart. Josh Hart, man, to me is he that dude you want on your team. He's not that superstar, but he is that dude that's going to get that timely rebound. He's going to dive for the ball, and he will hit some timely shots. He's like that glue guy that I think is great for New York, man. We knew his minutes was going to get reduced with Bridges coming. Let's just be honest. They brought Bridges in because they needed that more. They needed that scoring. I'm like you. I don't know, man. Maybe it's apples to apples. You know what I mean? Like in the long run, my worry, Ken, is more about Minnesota. Because
I agree with you. Because the thing about it, Mike, is that Nas is going to have to step up. DiVincenzo, I'll give you. When he was at Golden State, he didn't get that much. He didn't get that much playing time that he did in New York. He took advantage of the playing time that he got in New York, built his confidence. But he a role player too. You know, as far as that's concerned.
He a role player, but he was. I got to give him credit. He was balling in New York, man. They gave, like you say, they gave him that time, and he took full advantage. I think he set the New York record, man, for 3-pointers made in a year. And in the league, he was just behind. He was behind Curry and somebody else, man. He was third in 3-pointers made, so he had a heck of a season at New York. If he can continue that, coming off the bench. I agree. Naz Reid has got to step up. Naz Reid is underrated, man. He's a bad boy. He needs to step up. But I just don't know. Well, Ken, let me say this. As you mentioned earlier, I think it's the same problem that they're going to run. They need someone that can be more consistent for them in Minnesota than Karl was. And I don't think Julius brings that level of consistency. Now, he gonna come in and he gonna do some damage, but like you said, there's those moments where both of them have faded away from what those teams needed to get over, and I just think that's the same problem Minnesota's gonna run with, man. So I think Minnesota's got to make a move or something. Mike, they got to do something else.
I'm glad you said that, because to put a capsule on all this, I think, as far as I'm concerned, you paying way too much money for Rudy to be six man or defensive player of the year. You need some scoring. Not to say that you don't need defense, but you paying for what he's giving you. You need to make a move.
4 year, $102 million.
So about $25 million a year.
$25 million a year, which is too much for what you're getting in return.
Right.
Just think he's making about the same as Julius Randle, and Julius giving you almost 25 in 10.
Right.
And I'm not saying, again, I do not want to be one of these people, Ken, that get caught up in the idea that just because you're a defensive player, you're nothing in this league. No. You need rim protection. You need that enforcer inside. You need that lob threat. You need that, I think, to win a championship. But what I'm going to say is this: I don't think you need it for $25 million a year, though. That's all I'm saying.
I think you get something cheaper than that.
That's all I'm saying, man. And so it's it's interesting if you see this battle going back between Shaq and Rudy Gobert, man. And I don't even want to mention what Shaq said, because I thought it was a little disrespectful.
Right, but, it was.
You know what I mean? Like it is. Listen, I'm not mad at anybody for getting paid.
Oh,
okay. You can miss me. I hear, man, players make, well, okay, yeah, they make, as some would consider, outrageous. But guess what? If you're gonna send me the check, I'm taking it.
Owners making a lot of money too.
Why I'm gonna argue for less money? If you're gonna pay me this money, man, it's not the player's fault, man. Listen, I'm not mad at anybody. I don't care any level. You can be a manager at McDonald's. If you're making six figures, I'm happy for you. I do not have a problem, man. I don't hate on that, man. So I think I think it's gonna haunt them in the long run, and I think that's why they had to get off Karl-Anthony Towns if this goes through, because this is still tentative. If I was Minnesota, I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it, man. I just think it leaves too much of a hole that you didn't necessarily feel. I felt they needed to get another player, even with Karl there, to help. And looking at them last year and how they ran out of gas, and as you said, how he underperformed, in that series. I just, yeah, and with Conley getting older,
yeah.
I mean, it's so folks, let us know what you think about that potential trade. I'm sure we will hear something. They got to get it done because, folks, hey, I think the Celtics and the Nuggets might already be over in what is Abu Dhabi they playing in over there. I think they already had their media day, man. So come on, you got man. Don't do what the Bucks did. Don't do what the Bucks. Don't bring him in after training camp because that is a mistake. Okay, but Ken, so let's look for a minute at this Atlantic Conference. So, man, we don't have to go any further than the first three: Celtics, Knicks, 76ers. What do you think? Who wins this division this year?
Mike, I mean,
or I should say the conference this year.
I'll say the Knicks have improved. If this trade goes through, 76ers have acquired Paul George. So in this conference, man, is I would say more competitive than it was last year.
Mm.
I still think the Celtics will come out win the division. I haven't seen really any movement as far as players acquiring players or any trades from Boston. I think they stand with the roster that they had last year. So I see them without any injuries that they will win this division, like hands down. I think the 76ers, my big concern about them is that Embiid, is he going to last a full season? That's
Paul George. Let's throw Paul George in there now.
Well, you threw him in there
because Paul has had his injury history too.
True.
So,
but I think 76ers, if Embiid got injured, is worse than if Paul gets. I mean, don't get me wrong, Embiid has been injured, Mike, for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And then, I don't think they've made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, since he's been there. So that, that's the wrap on him. The Knicks, can they repeat what they did last year? Get it? I think they were the second seed in the Eastern Conference. The Nets, I mean, I'll mention this, but I mean, Ben Simmons collecting a lot of money, but not playing any games.
Yeah, Ken, I don't even know if we need to talk about the Nets or the Raptors.
Nah.
You can go ahead and speak on them, but I'm just
it's those three, man.
Yeah. Porzingis is not starting the season off.
Right, yeah.
So
I do.
So I think that's going to hurt the Celtics, just to be honest with you. I think with all the games that they have played, including the Olympics, I think not having Porzingis there, I think if the Knicks do not do this trade, I got the Knicks winning this conference.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I do. If they do the trade, I don't, because if they do the trade, then you're going to have an adjustment. You're bringing in a number two. It's going to take time to get it right. You're already bringing in Mikal Bridges, so you're already so you're going to need time to gel, and I just don't think. I think it's going to take New York some time. Not that they're going to be losing. I just don't think we're going to see what they really look like until they can clearly bring it together.
Okay.
And the 76ers, Ken, I'm with you. I can't. When I want to put confidence in the 76ers,
Mm-hmm.
I can't because of the health. We have never in B's career, we have yet to see him stay healthy and go deep in the playoffs. We haven't seen it, Ken.
Right.
So if the past is the best predictor of the future, then we know what the 76ers now. Maybe they're thinking, Ken, that if Embiid does have to sit out games, because we know he's probably only going to play what, if we're lucky, 65 games.
Yeah, I was saying between
Okay.
60 and
If we're
65.
lucky,
Right.
we're lucky. So maybe they're thinking, we got Paul George, we got Maxey, we got others. Now we can, if we don't have them, we still can compete and we still can win. Okay. Because without him, it was such a big void. I'm not convinced. Everybody, when you look at the power numbers, man, of course the Celtics are at the top. They have the Knicks and the 76ers ahead of the Bucks.
That's yeah, but I think that's another show because that's, to me, as far as well, we'll talk about that later because I want to, because we'll be here all night. And the thing about it, I don't see it, but I can see maybe the 76ers being ahead of Milwaukee, but I can't see New York being ahead of Milwaukee. That's just me.
Yeah,
And
go ahead, Ken.
And the reason why I say that is that, I mean, Embiid is, to me, Embiid and Giannis, they're gonna give you what they're gonna give you. 20 something, 10, 6, 7 assists, they're gonna do their thing. I don't see anybody on New York that can duplicate what those two guys do. Even, I'm talking about Brunson too. So but anyway, I predict, Celtics coming out of, winning the conference, 76ers, then the Knicks.
Okay, so this is where we're gonna differ, folks. We want you to chop this down. But I got a caveat with mine because I already mentioned it. If they listen, Ken, I'm gonna differ with you only on this point.
Okay.
If the Knicks do not do this trade, I have the Knicks, the Celtics, and then the 76ers. If they do this trade, I have the Celtics, the Knicks, and the 76ers.
So
I do not have the 76ers finishing first or second.
Okay.
Under no circumstances do I have them, because I just don't think Embiid's gonna play enough games in order for them to get up in there. Because Ken, listen, I think this year, when you look at how many games the Celtics won last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were 64-18. That this number right here, I think all of them, you're going to see. If you don't see all of them in the 60s, low 60s, it's going to be high 58, 59. This margin will not be what it is. It will not be, because the Knicks are better. The 76ers are better. You think last year without Randall, okay, and how many games Embiid missed? I just think these numbers are going to
Increase.
they're going to shrink. Yeah, they're going to increase, but they're going to shrink between them. And I just don't see the Celtics running away with it. Matter of fact, I have the Bucks, and we'll get in this later, but I got the Bucks winning the East, being number one. I'll say number one. I'm not saying winning the East yet, but I think the Bucks are going to have the best record in the East, quietly. But no, so folks, write that down.
Yeah,
Ken's got Boston. Ken got Boston in number one spot. So really, all you need to remember is, if the Knicks don't make that trade, I got the Knicks winning this conference, baby.
So you think the Knicks are worse off making that trade?
I think they are. I think they are. I think it complicates them. I think in the long run, they probably would be better. But Ken, you don't spend that money for the long run. You spend that money now. Just like when we brought Dame in, you spend that money now, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the adjustment that they're going to have to make, I think it puts them a year off. I really do. I think bringing in Bridges and bringing Randall back would have been more cohesive
Mm-hmm.
for their unit than getting rid of Randall, bringing in Towns, and bringing in and Bridges, and saying, okay, now we're gonna gel. Now we're gonna work together. I don't think they're gonna look terrible because, like you mentioned, they have role players. They have some great role players. But trust me, bro, for yourself, stars win championships.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So somebody's got to shine in there. We had JT, JB, we had folks like that for Boston, man. Those are stars in the league. And if you don't have star power, you're not going to hoist the O'Brien trophy.
Let me ask you this question then. With the 76ers bringing in Paul George, do you think it's going to be, let's just say, a faster run up for them than if the Knicks bring in Towns?
Say that again, Ken.
So, we know that bringing in players, you got to get acclimated with each other and play with each other and things like that. So with Paul George coming over to the 76ers, is there going to be some time where the 76ers are going to be looking, let's just say, I'm going to use the word lost, or a lack of a better word?
I think so too, man. I think so too, because as you mentioned, Maxey is a baller, and Maxey should be a number 2. And really can't. The only reason why I'm saying George is not coming there to be a number 3 is because he's got the seniority. He's been around the league. He's still, he's not in his. We would say he's still relatively on the edge of his prime, right? Going into more of a veteran status.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think, you're gonna have to figure out how to play together. Let's look at Phoenix. What happened with Phoenix? I mean, Kevin, Devin, and you had Bill. Bill couldn't get healthy, couldn't stay healthy. They had a difficult time playing together, and we see what happened. Bounced, went fishing, right?
Right.
And we know those 3 players are better than any 3 players on the Knicks. Okay, so I just think I think sometimes as fans, man, we get these, when we get the news, the Damian Lillards, when we get the Karl-Anthony, we go, man, they coming, we go crazy. But what we don't understand is, there is a major adjustment that has to happen. And it's not easy for stars to take less shots.
Oh, definitely.
Because George is going to have to take less shots. Let's keep it real. He he's not going to be able. He's not going to be putting up as many shots as he did with his cohort, Kawhi over there. He's going to have to. Oh man, and not even to mention Kawhi is having surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just. Oh man, I can't speak to that for a minute, man. I know we weren't going to talk about that, but man, let's just talk about that for a minute, man.
Mike, I keep saying this, and Kawhi Leonard is injured more severely than we know.
You said, matter of fact, Ken, for our audience, you said that years ago.
Yes. And the thing about it, Mike, is when I heard that, he wasn't going to come first, the word was out that, they were going to delay him starting practice, because, knee soreness and things like that. Then I heard that, that he's going to have another surgery, to get him, let's just say, corrected from last year. I was just like, oh my God, come on, man. Mike, I don't know if I should, I love Kawhi, man, but it's just that, can't stay on the floor. And it's gonna be a rough deal for the Clippers this year. So
okay. Kawhi Leonard, 3-year, $149 million. Okay, $149 million guaranteed.
Mm.
You hear what I said, brother?
Yes.
Guaranteed. Now, see, again, I'm like you, man. Much love for Kawhi, But it's like anything, brother. You got to come to work. I mean, you know, if you work for a company, man, and you can't come to work, sooner or later they gonna bring you in and say, "Hey, look, man, how we paying you this salary, man? You need to come to work. You got to be productive." And we know, no matter how talented you are, how talented you have been, man, if your body says that is it, Ken, it's over. You can have 1,000 surgeries. If your body says it is it is it. And I truly believe, although if he was healthy, man, he probably could play, I don't know, man, 8, 9 more years. But the fact is he's not.
He's right.
And to lose Paul George and now to have him not, he might not even come back this year, Ken.
Man.
What does the Clippers look like? They're opening up a brand new
arena. They trying to sell that thing
out. Who
out.
the fans want to see, Ken? You got to make money.
Right.
They want to see Kawhi. So all of a sudden you got a brand new arena that you can't even sell out? Nah, bro. That ain't, it's not a good look, man. And like I say, no shade to the brother, you know, because he's having to deal with these ailments. There's no shade to him, man, because that happens, man. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, y'all don't understand how great Grant Hill was. I said, if Grant had stayed healthy, baby, man, he would have did incredible things, man. He would have been, you know, one of the top players ever talked about. Look at D Rose just retired. What if D Rose had stayed healthy?
Healthy, right.
It's not a, when people hear this, man, why you hating on Kawhi? That's not it.
No,
bro. The best player, the best quality you can bring. You can bring talent, you can bring, you know, energy, you can bring all that. But the best thing you can bring is availability.
Yeah.
Because we seen that with Milwaukee. When Giannis ain't there, 2 playoffs in a row, man, come on. You have to stay healthy. And I just think the Clippers, man.
They're in the world hurt.
Man, the Clippers screwed, dude. Let's just keep it real.
James Harden.
They ain't bad. I mean, James probably had one of those years, though, Ken. He might have one of those, but okay, if he has it in him still, because this is ideal for him. I bet you they wish they still had Russell about now. They need some scoring. They're going to need some aggressiveness. They're going to need some, I bet you they wish, man, I wish we had Russell back now, because really you got Terrence Mann, right? You got Harding, and who else you got? Can we name them?
That's about it.
Can we name who the Clippers have?
Powell.
Oh yeah, you got Powell, man. Man, it's such a, you know, Kevin Porter Jr., Derek Jones, Nicholas Batum.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of, you know, Powell is that dude. Mo Bamba. Man.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at, you know, you still got PJ Tucker.
Like they trying to get rid. Let me stop.
Man, we love PJ. Much love for you, brother. But no, you lost your dogs. You lost your 2 best players. I don't care what anybody said. James was a number 3. James was not a number 2. Not with Kawhi and Paul George there. He was a number 2. Now he is your what, Ken? Number 1.
Your star. He's your superstar right about now in a new arena.
James might lead the league in scoring this year.
Oh shoot!
He might be in that MVP talk.
Taking all those shots, he could be right.
He might be in that MVP talk where they don't even make the play in. That's the problem. That's the problem, man. It's crazy, Ken. But let's transition, man, as we get ready to get out of here. We know the WNBA playoffs is going on. We know it's the semifinals. The Aces traveled to New York, played the Liberty, and got smacked today. They came back. They were down by 18, came back. Kelsey Plum had a really good game. Asia Wilson, they kind of kept her in check. She did well, but she didn't. They need her to dominate, you know.
They need 25 and 10 from her.
But it's going to be hard for her to get it because, you know, Brianna, I think she had 28 today. And then the other center, I think it's Jones is the other center. She's gifted on the inside, rebounder, strong. The Liberty to me, I'm just going to say this, and we were talking about this a while back. It just looked like it's their year, man.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they, you know.
I mean, I know Asia Wilson, this is, you know, her third MVP, but New York just, like you said, it seems like they're, you know, this is their year to win it all. I was talking to a good friend of mine who, you know, subscribes to the show, and he's, you know, he's a big Vegas fan as far as, you know, big time. He loves Asia Wilson, so you know, it's 1-1. So we'll see what happens.
Well, it's 1-0.
1-0. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a dogfight, though. You know, Vegas ain't gonna go down, you know, without fighting. So
they the champs, bro.
Yeah, you gotta take it from them.
You know, and nothing against Connecticut or Minnesota, right? Nothing against them because who's that? Angel Collar is for she's averaging 40 now in the playoffs, man. For Connecticut, and nothing against them, but to me, this series is probably
this is the championship.
Yeah. This is you know, where I think the two best teams are in the league. And when you look at what's going on, brother, over in you know, with the other two teams, I mean, this is the sixth straight year that Connecticut has made it to the semifinals. So I am I'm excited to see what's going to transpire, man. But I'm with you. You never count a champion out. However, man, the Liberty look good, brother.
They do.
I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real. So what are your predictions? Let's talk. Do you figure the Liberty's gonna come out of this round?
I think the Liberty's going to come out this round, and then whoever they face between, you know, Connecticut and Minnesota, I think the Liberty will win the championship this year. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and I still say that, you know, this is New York's year in the debut. What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I cannot say that I've thought anything different all year long because they have been the most consistent team. Nasia Collier, that's who I was talking about.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she averaging 40. She had 42 the other night. She is just playing amazing basketball for Minnesota. And she is what we call a problem. And so Connecticut is the best defensive team in the league, but I'm telling you, she averaging 40, bro. And I mean, she doing it inside, outside. She rebounding. She doing what she, man. She was second in MVP voting. So she can't check her out. She balling, man. And so I think it's going to be exciting championship. Otherwise, you know, we saw Connecticut just put their foot on Indiana's throat and send the Young Bucks home. But the Young Bucks coming back though. I mean, Indiana, man, they're an exciting team, man. I like what Caitlin doing over there, man. What the other players are doing over there. I think Indiana's going to be back. They got a couple years. They're a piece or two away. But nah, man, they got some ballers over there too.
Oh yeah, and they do. And the thing about it is that I think it's a to me, as far as I'm concerned, it's an exciting time for the WNBA. As far as their growth is concerned, I just hope it continues.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. With Kelsey Mitchell, man, man, that's that lefty kid. Oh yeah,
Right.
that's that lefty boy. She be stepped back and doing what she needs to do, folks. But listen, Ken, you got the last word.
Mike, like I said, I just think you see the WNBA growing and growing year after year. It's just really exciting at this time right now, and I just think that New York, I think is their year that to raise that trophy. So we'll see what happens.
Trophy and cigars.
The trophy is a good one.
Folks, the world of sports unites us. Let us take this unity into our everyday life. This is why they play the game.